This is the afternoon weather briefing. This is for Friday, the 4th of August. I'm James Spann. Alabama's weather will feature a mix of sun and scattered storms over the weekend and some fairly strong storms in parts of the state this afternoon. Let's go right to the radar. And again, we're doing this live at 2:43 on Friday afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms are heavier over the western side of the state. That's where the air is more unstable. Thankfully, the air is rain-cooled over much of north and east Alabama from the morning convection we saw. So let's take a look at some of the heavier storms on radar. They are pushing down through parts of Sumter, Marengo, Greene, Hale, and Perry counties from near York and Cuba in Sumter County over to Demopolis, New Bern, and back over toward Marion. Also scattered strong storms forming north of Selma, over into the northern Autauga County area near Billingsley. And again, those are dropping to the south. They're under classic severe limits. And keep in mind, to be severe, you need either 58-mile-per-hour winds or greater, or hail 1 inch in diameter or larger. And at this point, we've had no reports of anything like that. The radar not showing anything like that. But still, having said that, those storms in West Alabama are producing heavy amounts of rain, a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, and gusty winds, maybe 25, 30 miles an hour. And we'll keep an eye on those. They're dropping down into a fairly hot air mass where temperatures have reached the 90s today. But again, otherwise, the weather relatively quiet, just some patchy light rain for the northern part of the state. And again, the big action, of course, came earlier today where parts of Blount and St. Clair counties received over 7 inches of rain in only 6 hours, and some major flooding problems there earlier today. So here's the upper air look, and again, we are on the far eastern edge of the heat ridge. And we have the ring of fire effect where storms form on top of the heat ridge. They roll down that northwest flow aloft across Alabama. We've had those multiple times today. Here's the visible satellite view. And now for South Alabama, it's been mostly sunny and hot. But you could see those big convective masses over the western part of Alabama back into parts of Mississippi. And that is gradually dropping down to the south. Here's the radar composite this afternoon. And again, you can see the heavier storms pushing down through parts of West Alabama. Now, where the rain has been falling, temperatures are nice and cool for August. It's only 73 for Haleyville and Cullman. Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, 77. That's not bad for an August day. However, down to the south, it's sizzling. 96 for Mobile and Dothan. And, of course, the heat indices are way up there. We've got a heat advisory for the southwestern part of the state. Still a flash flood watch for parts of central Alabama, but that will be expiring this evening at 6 o'clock. And around the nation, heat issues to the west of Alabama and a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of Pennsylvania, New York, and parts of New England. Here's the broad severe weather outlook for the rest of today and tonight. We've got a risk of severe storms up in the northeast and also from the central plains down into the deep south. And we have a level 1 out of level 5 marginal risk of severe storms for a pretty good chunk of the state. The main concern really now, it's from basically US 80 south. That line segment coming down through York, Demopolis, and Marion. That'll be pushing to the south. So South Alabama, the main concern. For Northwest Alabama, the air is now rain-cooled, and really there's no risk of severe storms there. Tomorrow, chance of severe storms out across the nation's midsection. This is day 3, which is Sunday. Got a risk of severe storms, the core north of Alabama, but we do note there is a marginal risk as far south as Birmingham. And again, this is for Sunday. The storms that form could be fairly strong in that part of the state. And day 4, which is Saturday, got a risk of severe storms well to the north and east of Alabama. Rain for the next 7 days. And again, understand some folks had 7 inches of rain just this morning. And that's not going to show up on these maps. This is just an average for the next 7 days between now and Friday morning of next week. Amounts between 1 and 3 inches for much of the state. And looky here. In the tropics, it's just dead. And hey, we'll celebrate that. Typically in August, you got a lot of stuff going on, but nothing for the next 2 days, nothing for the next 7 days across the vast Atlantic basin. El Nino doing its thing. A lot of dry air, a lot of sinking air. So model fans, here we go, the GFS. This is the 12Z run, valid tomorrow afternoon at 4. And really it's the same setup, the upper high off to the west. And probably not as wet as today, but we will mention scattered showers and storms. The some of the mesoscale models, the small-scale high-resolution models coming in a little more aggressive with storms tomorrow, but still a decent chunk of the day should be dry, but they will be out there. Scattered showers and storms. Highs tomorrow will be in the low 90s in most spots, and the same thing on Sunday. And again, you don't see any green on that map, but they'll be around. The better chance of a storm, of course, during the afternoon and evening hours. We don't expect a repeat performance like today with those pre-dawn flooding problems. And again, the high Sunday should be in the low 90s. And really and truly next week, that's going to be the theme. Classic August weather. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And again, these maps are just not that useful. These are synoptic scale maps that cannot handle random summer convection. But I think every day next week we'll have scattered showers and storms around, most active from noon to midnight. Highs upper 80s and low 90s. And that is not that bad. This is a week from today, Friday the 11th of August. Pretty good trough north of the state. And again, the same thing. A mix of sun and clouds with scattered showers and storms. Let's go out 10 days. And again, these upper maps tell a better story. This is valid Monday, the 14th of August. And again, kind of a flat ridge across the deep south, not especially strong. And again, big vortex over Canada. And that would suggest just typical summertime weather. Partly sunny, humid, a few scattered showers and storms. Rain for Birmingham off the GFS ensemble. The mean about 3 inches between now and the 20th of August. Heat levels, again, we'll take these numbers all day long. This is coming from the NBM, the National Blend of Models. And you can see mostly upper 80s and low 90s for the next 10 days or so. And we will certainly take that. Here's the latest 8 to 14-day guidance just in. This is for August 12th through August the 18th. Temperatures well below average up north, near maybe a little above average down here across the deep south. So one more time. Let's check the radar. And again, we're live at 2:50 on this Friday afternoon. Heavier storms pushing down through West Alabama. Just some patchy light rain on the eastern side of the state. The heavier storms west of I-65. And again, these are currently under severe limits. But if you're under one of them, it's going to rain really heavily. You'll have a lot of noisy thunder, a lot of lightning strikes. And the winds will be gusty, 25, 30, 35 miles an hour. But that's well below severe limits. Heavier storms at 250 lined up now from a little south of York over to Gallion and Fawnsdale, just north of Uniontown, back to Marion, and then arcing over into northern Dallas County, around Plantersville, over into parts of northwest Autauga County, not too far from Billingsley. And again, those storms will keep on marching to the south over the next few hours, and we'll keep an eye on those. And again, it's moving into a hot, unstable air mass where temperatures are in the 90s. But the one thing about it, when those storms come through, you're going to go from the 90s to the 70s really quick once that gust front hits. And that main concern for heavier storms this evening will be along and south of that, mainly through parts of southwest Alabama. And, of course, we'll see the same thing with storms over the weekend, but probably not as active as the storms we have experienced today. So that's going to wrap this up. If you're new here, a noob, we do these twice a day during the week on weekends as needed. But during the week, we're live about 5:15 a.m. Central, about 2:45 p.m. Central. And we have supplementary notes on the blog, alabamawx.com. No book signing tomorrow. We'll get back into the swing of things here next week as schools are starting back. And I do believe our next book signing is in Hanceville in Cullman County, and that is going to be on, August the 12th and on August the 19th. That's going to be a good one. On the 19th, we're going back to Cullman County. We'll be in Cullman for a joint book signing with Ari Hallmark, who has an amazing story from April 27, 2011. She lost 5 family members, her parents, 2 of her grandparents, and a cousin. And she just graduated from high school, and she teamed up with an author, and she has an amazing book about her experience that day and what happened to her. And we're going to do a joint book signing with Ari in Cullman on the 19th of August. And that'll be a lot of fun. But again, the 12th is going to be in Hanceville. So we're going to spend some time in Cullman County on Saturdays. I like it. And we'll post details in terms of the timing and locations up on the social media channels as we get closer. And of course, what else? We invite you to watch us on television this evening, right across the hall here, Studio A, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and God bless.